What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode here at CartSmart TV. I'm Jason, and today we're going to be working on an old school golf cart. Not real old school, but old school enough. What the customers brought us is your EZGO Marathon. Just your plain Jane golf cart, nothing special done to it. Let's get over here and see what year this thing is. It's a 92 EZGO Marathon. This is electric. As you can see, we got 6 batteries in here creating 36 volts, 6 volts individually. Customer dropped it off and said that it's been sitting for a little while. They hadn't had a lot of time to use it, and when they went to use it, it wouldn't do anything, and so he tried to charge it. Charger never would come on. First step is making sure we got enough battery power to make this golf cart operate. Very important that you have at the very least 36 volts. You should actually be seeing somewhere upwards of the 40 volt mark if it's fully charged and the batteries are healthy. So let's dive into that and see what we get. You'll set it on your volts on the 200 scale, and then you'll take your red lead and your black lead, and on the Marathon the positive is here by your key switch and your negative is on the opposite side of your forward and reverse switch right here. And so we have 20.3 volts. Alright, so at that point, when you know you have 20 volts in the battery pack total, you're going to come along and check each individual battery and see what we're looking at. And you can see that that one is basically 0 on it. We're going to move to the battery beside of it. And there we have another battery that's got 0 volts on it virtually. Let's move to our other battery. This is our third one. And so that one looks good. 6.2 volts on it. Okay. Let's go back up here to this battery. Oh, that one's got nothing on it. So that's 3 batteries already with 0 volts on them. Alright, there's one that's got good voltage, 6.1, that's okay. And for the last battery, okay, so there we see it, there's one with 6.1, that's okay. You are tight on how much batteries cost for this golf cart. You can absolutely come in here with a normal car charger, something like we have here. See, I have a normal 12 volt charger here. Okay, you can come in here and hook it to each one of those batteries that are low, boost charge them for about 20-25 minutes, something like that. That'll be good and close. Then you can go back and check your main battery voltage. At that point, you're going to want to plug up your charger and let the charger do its thing by doing a full complete charge cycle. Once you do that, your golf cart should go back to operating. Now, our customer has said that because they are from 2022, which is 3 years old, and that the fact that this is basically his missus' golf cart, he went ahead and said go ahead and put new batteries in it to this point, no matter whether these are okay or not. You see what our problem is, guys. Very low battery voltage. So keep that in mind. If your golf cart has sat for a long time without being charged, this is what you'll run into. Alright guys, so we got our new batteries installed in the cart. Got all our cables hooked up properly. The Marathon is a little different from everything else. You have some of these wires like this one here, which goes into your micro switches to give it its necessary voltage to operate properly. So you want to take a picture of this battery pack to make sure that you put these wires back in their proper locations. Like your key switch wire, we got to feed voltage into the key switch so it's operating right. once you've got all this squared away and you've got everything done, give it a quick test. So you can see I've got it jacked up here in the rear end. Make sure you do that, or you can just take off riding, make sure it's doing properly. But we are going to hit the pedal. All right. Alright, so she is living and breathing. Next thing you want to do is check your charging system. Positive lead to the positive side. And then we will put our, and you can see that our brand new battery voltage is already at 38 volts. It is not a fully charged battery pack. Most of the time they're not all the way charged anyway, so after you put a new set of batteries in, you need to plug your charger up and let it run a full charging cycle regardless. So we got our voltmeter set up. Gonna get our charger plugged in to the golf cart. You can see our charge needle is doing what it's supposed to do. And so let's check and make sure. And we seen that it was at 38 volts when we started. And there it has climbed to almost 40. It is still climbing, and so that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see that battery voltage climbing like that while your charger's plugged up. Alright, so the final thing that I'm going to do now before I complete this is make sure that we have operation in both directions, forward and reverse, especially while I've got it jacked up. So let's go to reverse. Oh, we've got no reverse. Oh. Okay, so I finagled with the F and R switch there a little bit. And went back to forward. Okay. Okay, again, there we have no reverse. So I've got something going on to where I'm pushing this, wiggling it. Cause see, it's not doing anything. Both my hand got hand on the camera, hand free, and I'm pushing the pedal. I've got no reaction, but if I push hand off, I've got no operation whatsoever. If I push on the F and R, I've got movement. So that means either the F and R switch is just out of its position because it's bolted here, and then also it's bolted here and here, so that way while it's hanging, it's not moving and falling or whatever. But this right here is a place that you maybe can adjust just slightly. It's not going to be a whole lot, but just slightly, to be able to make this thing operate properly. So I'm going to give that a shot. You can see that this is the F and R switch is back in its place. So this one was a whole lot more simple than what you generally find. I'm going to use a different board. Well, a different setup, but with the same board. Okay, so this one is for your more modern, newer style TXT, but the board is still used in the same way from back then in the mid, or I'm going to say late 80s into the early 90s, which would be the marathons. So this board is this exact same that they used for the marathon all the way through the TXT models, up until they stopped using the forward and reverse switch like this. But in our case here, the board that's on the marathon over there, where your contacts are, because you can see your copper contact here, so there's 4 of them. This one here is melted. It's hard to see that, but the problem we had on the board is that the position that was trying to make contact for reverse was not touching every single time. What I found was on the back of the cam here, so you have 4 contact positions, 2 for reverse, 2 for forward. Well, you can see where my forwards are. You can see where my forwards are. Also tell where the reverses were, here and here, and you can see where it was starting to arc, because that is kind of burn up there. Not making good contact is all the problem really boils down to being. And so fortunately I had one of these cams with new contacts on it that I had obviously pulled from that one right there, and because they are still in the same design from this year model, which is an early 90s, 92 is what we said it was, they still use this same design for the forward and reverse switch on the TXT. So we was able to get the board off of here, which is your 2 11mm bolts right here. You slide this back. You're going to pull this 14mm nut off. This cam will slide out of there. Okay, and you can clean the contacts on the board, the contacts that make contact here. Clean those up really good, because the board looked good. There was no melting signs, no overheating or nothing like that. It just had this I guess like the markings that it leaves behind as it's arcing when you go from forward to reverse, because there's always voltage there, and that's a high amp voltage. So when you're switching it over, it's always making the slightest little arc. Well, after it does that for so long, without being readjusted, which all you do is tighten down on this nut just maybe a half a turn, and that'll alleviate, or should alleviate, the arcing that happens until it wears in again, or it melts. And if it melts, it's probably not going to do it at all, because when it separates, when this contact separates from the board contact, there's most likely no movement whatsoever. But as you're switching from reverse to forward, it's always going to have like a small little arc, because that's just the way the systems operate. And so once I got the board cleaned up, and then I put a different cam in there that had much cleaner contacts on them, it is now running like it's supposed to. So we're in reverse right now. I'm not having to finagle with the handle there at all like I was doing, and we have reverse. Alright, so I'm going to go back to forward. Alright, I'm going to let the wheel stop. Forwards go with no problem, which forward was never a problem to start with. It was always reverse. There's an easy quick fix. It doesn't take you long to do that, and it'll save you from having to buy a whole new F&R switch unless you just really want to buy one. Hopefully this video helps you guys out if you're dealing with a problem with an old school golf cart like this, the old Marathon. Sometimes they can be a pain, but it's nothing that you can't do. Get you a voltmeter if you don't have one. That's going to be your best friend here. It'll tell you if there's voltage passing through in that reverse position or not, and that's how you'll know whether your forward and reverse contacts are working or not. Of course, there are micro switches there too that could possibly go bad, causing it not to run also, so just keep that in mind. Really hope you guys enjoy the video. If you got any questions about this, please reach out to us on the channel. Our phone number's on there as well. Don't be afraid to give us a shout, guys. We'll do everything we can to walk you through figuring out what's wrong with your golf cart. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Click that bell for any new videos. And please, subscribe to the channel, guys. You might find something that'll help you fix another issue on your golf cart at some point in its lifespan. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.